Hello again. There are still 8 days to go before the window opens, yet it's a huge day of transfer speculation, and we're back to bring it to you. We start with Man City yet again because it's all gone horribly wrong for Mark Hughes. This is the Mail, a good story by two of the paper's top men, but what I can't believe is that two of the four players Mark Hughes wants are strikers. One's a midfielder and just one is a defender, Wayne Bridge. Where are City's problems? In defence, are Craig Bellamy, Santa Cruz, Villarreal's Marcus are really going to stop other teams tearing through the City backline? To be fair, the Sun says that City are after Kolo Touré at Arsenal, but there are two problems with this. Firstly, Touré has been completely out of sorts this season, which is why he hasn't been playing for Arsenal. If he does get back to his best, there is no way that Arsenal would sell. And even if they did sell, I can't see him going to a side in the bottom three, regardless of the money. To be fair to Arsene Wenger, many people have written his Arsenal side off, but they keep bouncing back. And if they're going to bounce back into the title race, they'll need a centre-half, at least one central midfielder, and a new striker. The Independent say that Zenit St. Petersburg are offering the tiresome Andre Arshavin to the Gunners, but the chaps in the spy office have got hold of Arshavin's agent Dennis Lacter this morning. This is what he said. I wish it was true that he was moving for that amount, but the sad reality is that there are no offers for Andre at all at the moment, let alone such generous ones. Going to stick with some more transfer gossip before we get to your messages because there's so much around today. This is a back page of the Daily Mirror, and it sums up the situation regarding four huge players. The chase is on for West Ham's Craig Bellamy. We told you yesterday that Aston Villa have moved in for him. Now Spurs are in, along with Celtic, although we understand that the Scottish club are very much the outsiders in that race. Unsurprisingly, West Ham have put a £12 million price tag on Bellamy. I'm sorry, he's just not worth that much. Back to the graphic. That's probably Bellamy now. And we all know for some time that Spurs want Downing and they look set to get him for £15 million. Again, good player, £15 million, no chance. Michael Owen says he'd rather wait until the summer than sign a new deal at Newcastle now, which pretty much means he's off. Expect Spurs, Villa and maybe even Arsenal to move in next month. And Mark Hughes at Man City is going to dump Elano because he thinks the Brazilian wide man is trying to stir up trouble for him in the dressing room. He's a class player, and if Spurs were to get him, I would be very, very impressed. Time for your messages. An NZ Everton fan wants to know what strikers I would recommend for his club. Elano's obviously not playing at City, and I do know that Everton want to sign Wagner Love from CSKA Moscow. They've been trying to get him for ages. Also, Everton fan, I'm sorry I haven't answered any of your questions before. I hope that's okay for you. Mohammed's very kind. He says, in the words of Alexandra Burke, hallelujah, so good to have you back, Darren. You were sorely missed. Mohammed, the money is on its way. With regard to Villa, Mohammed says, Bellamy shouldn't be on top of our January shopping list. We need a physical presence in the box, and although I like Heskey, Kenwyne Jones would be my first choice. We also need cover for Ashley Young before he collapses. Aidan McGeady or Nzongi at Newcastle would be the most likely candidates. I also like Glenn Johnson and Rio Coker, and as Quella isn't a right back. Nor is Real Coker, he says. All good suggestions. We've got to be careful. Martin O'Neill's used just 14 players this season. And as Mark Hughes at City is finding out along with Scolari at Chelsea, too many good players can lead to an unhappy dressing room. A couple more messages for you. This is one for Glan and McBlaze, who also says I haven't responded to them. Sorry about that. Glan says, first of all, Liverpool, they like the look of Lennon, as you say. I also hear they're keen on Lennon's Spurs teammate Jamie O'Hara. McBlaze is asking about the standardly aged midfielder Stephen Defoe. He's a good player, but I don't see Arsenal buying him. If they buy anyone in the centre of the park, it will probably be a defensive midfielder. Also, I think Alassane Bentner, they will go if the right offer comes in. More papers, and the Star says that Tony Adams at Portsmouth is going to use the Lassana Diarra money on Borough's Gary O'Neill and Fulham's Jimmy Bullard. O'Neill, I think, could happen, but no chance would Bullard swap Fulham for a Portsmouth side. Very much is free-fall, he'd have much better options. Matthew Upson at West Ham says in the Express that all of the Hammers top stars are considering their options as the club won't give any guarantees that they won't be sold. As the Express rightly points out, that could stretch the board's relationship with Zola, as he's been saying for ages that he wouldn't have to sell anyone. The Sun say that Hull boss Phil Brown's looking to pull a rabbit out of the hat with the signing of Egypt striker Hosni Abdrabbu. He's 24, was crowned the player of the tournament at the African Nations Cup this year, and in the Football Spy office has found some really good footage of him. You can see that on the blogs page. It's worth a look just for the commentary alone. A few more messages for you before we leave you. And Zygam says, is it true that Arshavin was spotted at Arsenal's training ground? No. Also, is Tevez going to Arsenal? No. And also, says Zygam, this is interesting. He says, I realise that there is no theme music for the beginning of your show. As I'm currently making songs and themes, how about I email my song and you can play it at the beginning of all of your shows? Well, Zygam, bring it on. If it's good, I'll get Patrick and Toby to have a listen. If it's any good, we'll see if we can use it at the top of the show. Gary Spurs thinks maybe Pavlyuchenko is on borrowed time at White Hart Lane. He says, I feel he's quite a good player, but won't do anything more than score goals. His movement isn't the best, and he's got no pace at all. Personally, I just keep him for this season, maybe just so that he can adapt to the Premiership before I decide whether to sell him. To be fair, I always thought strikers were supposed to score goals. MCFC Nuts says, Darren, do you think Man City will buy Upson and Santa Cruz in January along with a few more players to strengthen up the team? I think they will, but like I said, it's defenders they need, not strikers. And in terms of wish lists for Christmas presents for your team, Thacker Jaidi says, I want a new contract for Cristiano Ronaldo until 2015. What, another one? Marik Ashi says that for Arsenal, he wants players that are not kids, players with experience. He also says that he thinks Pavlyuchenko will stay. And we'll find out the situation with Pogrebniak. You've asked about him. We'll find out and let you know. Sainter for Life wants to know my thoughts on a player plus cash swap between Real Madrid and Liverpool, with Alonso going back to Spain and Van der Vaart going to Anfield. I think that would be a great deal for both clubs, but I couldn't see it happening. And Style Sessions, Footy Arsenal, Izam, Hannah, Daniel Magnuson, Crispy, Tim, and everyone else that I haven't been able to get to, apologies for the time being. We can only make these bulletins so long, but I promise you I will get to you later this week. One more story to bring you, and it's this one in the Star. Gareth Barry promising that Aston Villa will keep up their shock tilt at the title. He's got some front, hasn't he? Back in the summer, he was off to play for a bigger club. Now he's giving it large because the club he thought were not good enough have actually proved that they are. Anne's very good at her job. She's going to be in the Spy office all day today, updating you on any breaking news. And don't forget, we've also got a sports review of the year on the Daily Mirror site, as well as lots of celeb videos over the Christmas period. I'm off to get something for my cold, but I will see you next time.